Hey guys, John Lemme here, the founder of the Conservative Business Show and the host of the CBJ Real News Podcast Show. And the good-looking, awesome young man next to me is the infamous Vince Everett Ellison, a great friend of ours. And I'm so excited to have him back. I believe it's his fourth appearance on a podcast show. And we got a huge announcement. He'll be joining us this upcoming June at a We the People Fight Back event in Naples, Florida, Naples Hilton. So, Vince, how are you tonight, young man? And then I'm going to read your awesome bio. How are you doing tonight, Vince?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. God is good. I'm blessed to be with you and your beautiful wife, Christy. Thank y'all for inviting me.
So I'm going to read your awesome bio, and I want you guys to grab a pen that writes, and then we're going to unpack his new book that he just released. His book's titled 25 Lies, Exposing Democrats' Most Dangerous, Seductive, Damnable, Destructive Lies and How to Refute Them. I love the title. Vince Everett Ellison is a formidable man whose unique ground-up perspective comes from foundational life experiences and education. Vince was born on a cotton plantation in Haywood County in West Tennessee to parents who at the time were sharecroppers. Through hard work, guys, hard work and faith in Jesus Christ, his father prospered in the insurance industry, pulling himself and his 7 siblings out of poverty into the middle class. The Ellison family gospel singing group was formed when Vince was in grade school. If I was around, if I knew Vince, that I would have been in that gospel group with you, Vince. We've been tearing it up. The group continued performing through his college years with broad exposure in the Black church and gospel music community. Through his experiences in gospel music, Vince gained intimate knowledge of the inner workings and failings of many of the Black ministers in the Black church. Vince studied academically at Memphis State University. However, he received a real-world education while working as, pay attention, guys, correctional officer at a maximum security prison in South Carolina. Vince later worked in a nonprofit arena with many African-American civic organizations. He experienced the underworld of politics in 2000 after becoming the Republican nominee in the 6th Congressional District of South Carolina. These many life experiences have given Vince a unique insight. From the vantage point, he has been able to recognize, dissect, expose, and answer many of the questions regarding race, religion, and politics that have dogged America for years. Vince painstakingly dismantles the 25 lies underlying Democratic policies and arguments and provides readers with the tools they need to understand and refute these myths and deceptions. Finally, Ellison implores his fellow Americans and Christians to open their eyes to the damage being done to the nation's heart and soul in the name of progressivism. And I read that bio extensively because tonight, when you're listening to this either live or in a replay, I believe this is one of the most important podcast shows because Vince is a man of character, honor. I know him very well. He's been on my show numerous times. He was on my show before we did all this video stuff. So it's exciting. So Vince Everett Ellison coming to us live from the mountains of Tennessee, correct? So I know sometimes the internet may get a little spotty because you're up in the AR-15 zone in Tennessee, right?
Yeah. Actually, we're in Virginia, the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Yeah,
Virginia. Yeah. So Vince, kind of unpack your background a little bit. And the reason why I read that bio, I think it's very important because there's a lot of people that are falsifying about their position in the world right now, and you're a man with a track record, and you have the track record, and from every walk of life, from growing up in your family, the music career, the political career, and now obviously writing.
Yeah, John, I know the Democrat Party very well. As you read from my bio, I was born on a cotton plantation in Haywood County, Tennessee, and my father was a sharecropper, and he worked hard and brought us out of poverty. And from the age of like 9 until the time I left home, we lived a pretty good middle class life. I went to college, and then I started working in a prison in Columbia, South Carolina. And that's where I saw that we had not overcome as a people, not as a Black people. And I started asking questions of the Black intelligentsia. I'm asking, what's going on here, man? Why are so many Black people being locked up? Now, that was during the era of the Clinton-Biden crime bill. Joe Biden wrote that crime bill in the Senate that locked up all these Black men in the 90s. And, well, of course, the Black intelligentsia told me it was because these rich, white, evil Republicans, they hate Black people, right? So I resigned my post, and I started working down in the ghettos, and I found something pretty interesting. I saw no rich, white Republicans down there. Matter of fact, all I saw was a bunch of Black Democrats. And amongst them, I saw these 3 entities making all the money from the chaos. And I called them the Iron Triangle. That was my first book.
Right here, which is a must read. I had you on your podcast, I think I think 3 times about this book in the past,
Yeah.
guys. Remember, you guys can see all of Vince's past episodes. You go to conservativebusinessjournal.com, click on podcast, library of episodes. It's alphabetical order. Ellison, you'll see his past episodes. That was prior to video. We were on audio in the first one. The Iron Triangle must read. It's here in my library. It's tremendous. Continue, Vince. You're awesome.
Yeah, man. And Iron Triangle did very, very well. It's been I saw a top 100 list where it was listed as number 26 on the most important political books ever written. It really just destroyed a lot of sacred cows because I showed how the Black preacher, the Black civic organizer, and the Black politician were all conduits for the Democrat Party. And their main job was not to do anything good for the Black community. Their job was to make sure that the Democrat Party got 90% of the Black vote. Hook or by crook, still in elections, street money, sold to the polls, it didn't matter. Stuffing ballots, that's what they do. So I exposed that in the first book, and now this second book is like a sequel to it. And I'm talking about how the Democratic Party itself is an evil institution. We no longer have policy disagreements with the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is what it has always been, from slavery to succession to Jim Crow up to socialism now. It has always been a cabal of murderers, thieves, liars, psychopaths. And right now, they're still the same thing. They are they've destroyed most of the Black community, and they are going to use it as a template to try to destroy the rest of America. And the book talks about the 25 lies that they use to trick unsuspecting people to vote for them and to support them, and how we can refute them.
It's interesting what you said, Vince. You said the unsuspecting people, like I know in your first book you talked about the Black pastors, the Black church, the Black community, the ghetto. So 25 lies, and obviously tonight we can't go through all 25. And guys, make sure you pick up Vince Everett Ellison's book, 25 Lies: Exposing Democrats' Most Dangerous, Seductive, Damnable, Destructive Lies and How to Refute Them. So Vince, out of 25 lies, let's go over like the top 3 lies you believe. Tell us the most seductive lie in there, the one that really kind of slithers in. I talk about in my book when I'm interviewed about socialism is the snakes, just a mask, no big deal, 15 days to flatten the curve. That's the beginning. And then communism is the bite. It takes you out. Kind of just slithers in. So what's your number one lie you want to share out of the book, Vince?
That white conservatives are the enemy of Black people. That is the number one lie. I walk seamlessly through these two groups of people who are supposed to not want to talk to each other. And I find out, and I know that they agree on almost 99% of everything. And Democrats know that too. And that's why the white Democrat liberals don't want us to ever start talking, because they'll find out that we'll get along. Jesus in his last, before he went to the cross, he said, I command that you love one another. And I found that white conservatives love Black people, but the Democrats are always whispering in Black people's ears saying they hate you, they hate you, they hate you. So Black people won't approach them, and this enmity just remains between them. And it's a fight that's going on that white conservatives don't even understand, because they say, I have no problem with you, but Black people have a problem with them.
And it's amazing too, because they keep pressing issue, and everything's. I mean, now the word racism, everything's racist. I mean, Pete Buttigieg said it that the height of bridges are racist. Like bridges are racist. I mean, you haven't been on my show since all the COVID nonsense went on. I mean, It's like even before we hit go live, it's like you said, it's like the apocalypse going on now with just a fiasco. Because you were on my Biden scam series. You were on one episode when I had Mike Lindell on, yourself and some other top influencers. And that was when I really became the high value target. I had a conversation with someone today, and I said, I've been podcasting for years. I mean, we are one of the top conservative voices out there because we're not owned by anybody. We talk about no holds barred, uncensored. I mean, and I want to unpack something too, just based on what you said about white conservatives. The clip that we were promoting this show for, Vince, was from your last show, and he said Kamala Harris is the O.J. Simpson of politics. I mean, if I said to you 2.5 years ago, Vince, that quote unquote, obviously we know the election was stolen, but she does have this title in there as the VP of the greatest country in the world. I mean, I see you smiling, laughing. I mean, this is like God is laughing at this, because God's moving like Moses and Pharaoh Just unpack the depth of racism in Kamala Harris's blood and veins like Joe Biden, please.
Oh my God. She's, you know, she made her career out of locking up black men for doing what she was doing in California, the smoking weed. And, you know, she supports a party that has murdered in the past, since 1972, about 30 million black babies, that has destroyed the public educational system, will not let these poor children out. If you want to talk about the Democrat Party and if it's any good, go to the inner city. If you want to talk about the Democratic Party and if the schools are any good, go to the inner city. If you want to talk about freedom in the Democratic Party, go to the inner city. And that's where Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and all the Democrats have been ruling for the last, 50 years, and they've been ruling the black community for the last 200. When you want to see the condition of the black family and the fact that they won't let them get up, it's the Democrat Party. When you understand that they've destroyed the economic system, they've destroyed the churches, they've gone into the churches. You remember when she went into this church here in Virginia and had some type of video going around in black churches telling them to vote for Terry McAuliffe. You know, even bastardizing, religion for a political purpose. That's what they do. She's always gone into the black community and tried to corral her people for a party that wants to disarm them, that wants to kill their children, that wants to bring illegals in to take up space in their neighborhoods and bring fentanyl and drugs in, and keep them in abject poverty for one reason, so she can bring the black vote to her Democrat Party white masters. That's what she does, and she does it well.
And when you look at it, then you look at Biden. So, what's the second of one of the top lies you want to share tonight in the show out of 25 lies? I mean, I know the biggest lie is me. I'm a white conservative. We're not supposed to get along, but I see no color. I see heart. I see character. I see championship love for the country.
Well, the second one is that racism is the biggest problem here in America right now. Racism is not the problem. The biggest problem is black male cowardice. White men aren't doing the snatch. Men aren't doing the snatching grabs down in the ghettos. White men are not leaving their children behind. White men are not stealing. White men are not burning buildings. They're not fighting and shooting at the police. These are all black men, but they say that racism is a problem. Well, how is racism a problem when 95% of all black men are murdered by other black men? When black men are doing 95% of the crimes in the ghetto? See, if black men stand up and start acting as men, everything changes. And what do I mean by that? I mean, take care of your children. Don't burn down your neighborhoods. Work for a living, pay your taxes, and live the way all free men live, not asking the government for anything. Working every day, doing your job. It takes courage to do that. People always talk about the intimidation of white racist men in the Jim Crow era and during slavery, saying that black men, that black men were intimidated, and that because of white intimidation, that black men couldn't vote, that they were afraid they couldn't own property. Well, when you start talking about white intimidation, the flip side of that is black cowardice.
That's good.
Because in some states like South Carolina, Mississippi, and Alabama, there were more black men in those states than there were white men. And then you had a small percentage of these white men that were night riders in the Klan that went and terrorized groups of thousands of black men. I'm saying here today that this has to be addressed. We have to start telling black men to stand up and start acting as free men.
That's good.
Start taking their place as free men in this society. Responsibility, work, loving your family, loving your community, loving your country, and loving God. So that's the second biggest lie, that racism is the biggest problem here in America. No, it's not. It's black men not standing up and being brave and being strong and taking their place in America. Matter of fact, too many of them are just plain out and out cowards. And that's the reason for all the problems we have in America right now.
That deserves a standing ovation, right, Christy? Vince, that section right there says it all. We talk about many times, we preach to the choir. You want to take this section of the show and share it. Share the podcast. Make sure you guys follow me on Telegram, Rumble, and Cloud Hub.
John, I'm not hearing you for some reason.
Not sure why. Big Vince, can you hear me? We're in that
I'm not hearing you.
Virginia mountain internet there. Can you hear me now, Big Vince? You back? He's the best, Vince. Technology is great.
John, I'm sorry. I'm not hearing you at all.
I guess maybe I should remove him and bring him back in. Here we go. Let's see. Vince, how about now? Are you able to hear me now? Where's your wife? There we go. All right, he'll come back on. But guys, you see Vince, and he's in Virginia. He's in area. Here we go. I think Vince is coming back on. Here we go, Vince. We'll get you because you're up in the mountains of Virginia. Here we go. He's with audio only, stream only. Vince is rocking. So, guys, we are cranking up the episode. I will have Vince back on here as he comes. So he's, Christy, where is he? Once again, he's in Virginia, correct? Blue Ridge Mountains, where the internet just got there last week, right? So we're having a great show with Vince Everett Ellison. And make sure, guys, Vince will be back. A little technical difficulty, as we say. So all is good. Make sure this is an episode you want to share. Want to get out to everyone. Thank you, Lorene. Lorene said I share with 6 groups. Make sure you guys do follow us at all the platforms, preferably Telegram at CBJ Real News. You see the little logo there up on the corner there, CBJ Real News. That's who we are. CBJ Real News on Telegram, Rumble, and then CloutHub, CLOUTHUB, CloutHub.com. There's no censorship. CBJ Real News. Vince is back from remember, internet just got to Virginia last week. As soon as Youngkin became governor, we got internet. He's laughing, so he can hear me. So here we go. Let me bring Vince on. There's Vince. Vince, how are you, young
sorry,
man?
Things just went weird for a minute.
No, what happened was we're mentioning Biden, racism, Kamala.
They cut us all off.
I just told everybody you got internet a couple days ago up in Virginia. It's all because it wasn't there until
man.
Youngkin.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened.
It's all good. You're looking good. You're sounding good. And the information, as I was saying, what you just said during that section, and when you couldn't hear me, when you ended, that was the best section. Everyone share that because Vince unpacked the truth. That's why this is the Real News podcast show to conserve and protect America. That's what it's about. I mean, racism is not the problem. BLM is. That's why BLM's root. And I know when you were on my show prior to the destruction, when BLM destroyed everything, and you were on prior to that. I want to ask you the ultimate question is, BLM's core value is to destroy the nuclear family. Now they got LGBTQGIAS plus asexual, BLM sexual, all they're doing is destroying the nuclear family, right, Vin?
Oh yeah, man. Look, at the in 2020, Donald Trump had done more for the black family and the black community than any president since Abraham Lincoln. Black unemployment was down lower than it had ever been. Black incomes were up higher than it ever been. The black middle class was coming back. More black businesses were out more than it ever been. And the Democratic Party was seeing black people believing that they could make it in America based on merit. They couldn't have that. So they activated BLM and Antifa with one instruction: burn it down.
That's amazing.
And they did a black crystal knot. And they went into the black community and they set fires and they burned it down, and they wanted to make sure the black middle class never rose again. See, the Democratic Party has a narrative. And this narrative to black Americans is that you cannot make it in America based on merit. You need us. Even when Joe Biden made the announcement that he was going to fill the Supreme Court seat, instead of him saying, I'm going to go and get the best person for the job, and then walk out with this black woman and said, this is the best person for the job. No, Joe Biden had to say, I'm going to give it to a black woman. Give it to a black woman.
That's right.
He had to let black America know that you did not earn this. She did not merit this. Because if black people ever start believing that they can make it based on merit, which is true, America is a post-racial society now. You can make it based on hard work and merit. But the Democrats know that if black people ever believe it, their party is completely dissolved and destroyed.
Wow.
See, Joe, I've made up my mind that I will not be silent anymore in the presence of pure evil. And these people are not misguided.
What you
These
just said,
people are
Vince, is
evil.
really what you just said was so powerful. I want to unpack that. If the Black community ever really hears it, that if they achieve based upon merit and work hard, the Democratic Party is gone, destroyed. It will be non-existent. If the Black community got a hold of, they could actually earn themselves and earn respect, earn honor, earn income, work hard, build a family, and take advantage of what's here in America. That's what their whole narrative is. And as I say right now, there's really no Democratic Party left. It's like communism now. I mean, it's just a communism destruction of the country. I mean, let's talk about something right now with the even since last time you were on my show, Vince, just the law and order, what's going on in Chicago, New York, Detroit, California. I mean, just the inner cities of the blue states. It is like third world countries. I mean, Chicago and New York is out of control. How about Eric Adams, the new mayor of New York City?
Yeah,
Vince?
yeah. Well, that's what Democrats do. That's how they keep Black people under control. Since the Ku Klux Klan, the red shirts, the black codes, they've always used violence and terror as a means to control the Black community. Crime is just another form of terror. They told the police that we don't want you around. We're gonna, if a police officer tries to arrest somebody, they've taken away, they stripped them of immunity, so that if they try to arrest somebody, they get in trouble. They got cameras around them. We're just waiting for them to make a mistake, so the police officers are pulled back. That's what they want. The Democrat Party is organized crime. They don't want the police around, because how can they sell their drugs? How can they do the prostitution? How can they allow the illegals to come in and sell the fentanyl? How can they do the sex trafficking? They don't want the police, because they make a lot of their money from the organized crime that's in the Black community. They make their money from porn, from the hip hop industry, from all of this terribleness that happens in the Black community. Plus, if you study Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's a psychological concept that says you got to go to 5 stages before you get to self-actualization. And that's where you and I are, where you can enjoy your life, where you're free, where you're not concerned about what other people are thinking about you, where you can just live a good life. Well, they got the Black community trapped at number 2, where they're fighting for survival, where they're fighting for security, where they're afraid. See, if you demoralize the people, that's what the Soviet Union did to their people for so long. They demoralized them. They put them in a position where they were always afraid, where they were always hungry, well, they were always fighting for survival. If you demoralize the people, they will never listen to the truth. They are too busy trying to survive. You've seen them on the street, Joe. You've gone to the ghettos and seen people that have just demoralized. And when they're demoralized, you can't talk to them about anything about the future. They're worried about right now. I'm hungry. I'm scared. And that's what the Democratic Party want them to be. So that's what this crime is all about. This crime is about what I told you in 2020. Burn it down, never let them rise again. Plantation politics. Keep them under control, keep them frightened, keep them afraid, keep them dependent, and will always be in power. That's the Democratic Party.
I mean, Vince,
and it's coming to a city near you. They want to put it in every city in America.
That's tremendous what you're unpacking. Like you said, they got to keep the police away so they can run their business, and they intimidate the law enforcement, and that's why it's getting worse, and that's why they make money off everything. Guys, once again, this is a show you're going to want to share, and we made the announcement. Vince will be with us live in June, coming up our next We the People Fight Back event in beautiful Naples, Florida. Make sure we're gonna tear it up, man. I'm excited. John Lemme and Vince Everett Ellison live together in the house. It's on.
That's right, man. It's going to be fun. And we're going to let people understand these Democrats live through fear. But just like Lincoln said, they don't want to just keep it amongst a group of people. They want to spread this. They want to mass produce it. John, they're not down there saying we're ashamed of this. We want to change this. They're down there saying full speed ahead. They still want to defund the police. And look, to your listeners, don't buy that crap that they said that we don't want to defund the police any longer. We've learned our lesson. Don't believe that they don't want to teach CRT and LGBTQ in all of these schools. If you put them in power, they are going to finish the job. And the Democrat Party heaven is America's hell. Remember that. Their heaven is our hell. They'll be on top, we'll be on bottom. And that's how they want it.
Guys, that's why Vince Everett Ellison is sharing live from his must-read book. Let me put the book cover up on the screen here. It's awesome. 25 lies. And Vince looking sharp, and the glasses there are sharp. Your wife definitely dressed you that morning for that photo shoot, Vince.
It was her, man. It was all her.
Vince Everett Ellison, 25 lies exposing Democrats, most dangerous, seductive, damnable, most dangerous, seductive, damnable, destructive lies and how to refute them. This is Vince's third or fourth appearance on a podcast show, I believe. I think it's your fourth appearance, Vince. And make sure you guys listen to all of his other episodes. You visit conservativebusinessjournal.com. Podcast on the menu bar, library of episodes, Ellison. You'll see his episodes. Obviously, this one will be added up on there. Guys, grab a hold of the book, share the book, study the book, get it out to people that have just been manipulated by the fake news. That's why we are the real news. That's why we're one of the most banned, feared, censored news outlets out there, because we're not owned by the radical left or the communist left. We're sharing the truth. And that's why, Vince, something else I want to ask you too. You know, you look at the lies of the Democratic Party. We've unpacked two. Give us a lie that most people wouldn't look at it as if it's a lie, but it's so manipulative that they do it every day, and even some of the rhinos will get involved in it. What lie are they doing like right now, which we see every day going on?
Well, the biggest lie is that they don't steal elections. You know, you have people saying right now, well, the election wasn't stolen, That election was stolen, man. I have no doubt, because I've seen them steal elections. They've been stealing an election since the end of the Civil War. Matter of fact, if you look at history, real history, the 1965 Voting Rights Act had to be implemented because the Democrat Party had been stealing elections for 100 years. Now, look, this isn't a lie. This isn't hyperbole. This is a fact.
That's right.
The 1965 Voting Rights Act was enacted because the Democrat Party had intimidated, lynched, killed, castrated, poll taxes, stuffed ballots, lied, connived, you named it. They did it to steal elections down south. And the federal government had to come down and make them stop. And Martin Luther King Jr. and his crew had to put a spotlight on it. And this was all Democrats doing this. So even now, they want to say in the press, and some rhinos are saying, well, the election wasn't stolen. And some of these never troubled.
Right.
Let me tell you something. They go into the black community because most of the time Republicans aren't down there to watch the ballots, right? And they take this as an opportunity to stuff ballots. And they say black people are voting 95% for the Democratic Party. That is a lie. They stuff ballots. They do souls to the polls. They do street money, and they cheat. And they will go into Milwaukee and they'll cheat in Milwaukee to a point where they can win Wisconsin by 10,000 votes. They're going to Michigan and cheat to a point in Detroit where they can win Michigan by 10,000 votes. They're going to Pennsylvania and cheat to a point where they can win, and they'll go to Philadelphia and they'll cheat and win by 10,000 votes. Then they'll go to Atlanta and win Georgia by 10,000. That's how they win. They go into the black community and they cheat. So all of these rhinos that are going around saying that the 2020 election wasn't stolen, they're lying, or they're stupid and naive. It was stolen, and it was stolen by the Democrat Party because that's what they do. And John, you know that when they tried to pass HR 1 to try to put their voting into law permanently, to try to put their cheating into law permanently. Yeah, that's what they were trying to do. They said, we won this way, we got to keep it going. So no, the Democrat Party stole that election. The people that say that they didn't steal it are people that don't know what the hell they're talking about.
And that's great. You're saying, in a way, saying putting their cheating into law permanently, which is, getting rid of the filibuster and the law. Just making it illegal for the most important asset we have is our vote. And just one more question before we take our quick commercial break. And it's interesting, guys. We had no pre-production conversation. Just how you doing, Vince? You're looking awesome. Talking about the family, everything, and then we went live. And I knew when I asked Vince, I knew he was going to bring up the election being stolen. He was on my Biden scam series, with Mike Lindell. Right after the election, we knew I brought on the top influence. I consider Vince part of my inner circle, white conservative family. He's a racist, Vince. He's a white conservative. He's awesome. And when you look at this and you say, something that I know in your first book, which I've read probably 5 times, The Iron Triangle, which is tremendous book, The Iron Triangle, how Democrats are using race to divide Americans in their quest for power and how we can stop them. Pick up both of Vince's book, his original book, his first bestseller, and his new bestseller. But something I loved when you first shared this with me, Vince, called Souls to the polls. For all the
Mhm.
Christians, about 31 minutes into our show, this is the 31 minutes in, share this section. We talk about many times we preach to the choir. We have to get outside the choir box. That's what we do is I instruct people, Vince, to take certain sections, fast forward it, send it out the video, send out the audio. So Vince, what does souls to the polls mean? I absolutely love this, that you share this.
Souls to the polls is a technique that the Democratic Party uses to get as many black people to the polls as they can before Tuesday, the election day on Tuesday. So this is what they do. George Soros, the guy in Hungary, right, sends money to America. They disperse it out to black pastors at black churches. They tell them, we're going to send buses to your churches. We want you to put these congregants on the bus and take them during Sunday morning service. As soon as Sunday morning service is over, take all of them to the polls and have them vote. Now, for everyone that you have vote, we're going to give you a certain amount of money. It might be $10, $20, $30. Goes to the pastor, okay? And so all these congregants vote, and they know that 90% of these congregants, they believe, will vote for the Democrat Party, or they are going to stuff the ballots and make it look like they voted for the Democrat Party. But that's what Souls to the Polls is. It is organized in every big city and mostly every black church in America, where these white liberal elitists sends money down to the black churches. And what they do, the saddest thing about it, is that they are bastardizing the black church and using it for political purposes. Let me say this as plain as I can. The black preacher has no business in politics. C.S. Lewis said that the job of the preacher is to get us prepared to live our lives, our eternal lives, in the presence of Jesus Christ. We have enough problems in the black community. We have people who are losing their souls, who are on drugs, families breaking up, who are dying of overdoses, who are killing one another. The church has a job, and that job is to save the souls of their people. They ain't got no business in politics because most of them don't know what they're doing. They're bad on both ends. They're losing on both. There are people going to hell, and they losing it on earth. So the black pastor don't know what he's doing. Most of them are apostates. They are just conduits for the Democrat Party. They're losers. And you can look at the black community and understand this, because Jesus said, when they asked him, when his disciples said, how do we recognize a false prophet? He said, you will know them by their fruits. You will look at what they produce. And when you look at what black pastors are producing, the black community is in shambles. The fruit is rotten, so the tree is rotten. And they're rotten to the core.
Guys, this is such a powerful episode. This is one you're going to want to share everywhere. Make sure, guys, we're live right now streaming. Make sure you guys follow us on Telegram at CBJ Real News, CloutHub, CLOUTHUB.com. No censorship, CloutHub.com, CBJ Real News, and obviously Rumble. Vince, I'm going to take a 90-second commercial break, and then I'll be right back with you. And Vince, Chrissy, how about Vince Everett Ellison? Because our shows are live. This is being recorded live. So let me do a quick commercial break here, and we'll be right back for our conservativemarketplace.com as a number one sponsor and supporter. So, guys, I appreciate you guys patronizing conservativemarketplace.com. And Vince, you're one of the reasons why I was banned on YouTube for life. One video we had close to 1 million views, one of your episodes, and YouTube banned me for life. They removed 2 million subscribers, 5,400 videos, Google ad. I can never run an ad again on my website from Google ad. Banned on TikTok, banned on LinkedIn, shadow banned Instagram. shadow ban on Facebook, shadow ban on Twitter, but we don't back down because God, I screamed out to God, Vince. I said, give me an idea, give me a vision. I'm not stopping talking about the election being stolen, illegal aliens, communism, and abortion. I'm not stopping. God gave me the vision at conservativemarketplace.com. All of you listening, we have 150 products on there now. The majority of products, 99.9% made in America. All my books are on there, self-published in America. We got jewelry and accessories. We got an awesome. We just added the brand new cross pins on there from the blacksmith down in South Carolina. Keychains out of South Carolina. So guys, make sure you visit conservativemarketplace.com. And today, this is President's Day, and since President Trump won, we're giving you guys a special. Even if you listen to the replay, we will still allow you to take advantage of it. Use the discount code Trump, and you get 15% off of your entire order. I want to recognize a few people, and then I'll bring Vince right back on. I want to recognize Jennifer out of Vero Beach, Florida, got a hold of the NAC under health supplements. Lorraine Falco, one of our top supporters, is on live tonight. Grabbed a hold of the Metagenics and the Zinc 3060 caps. And Lorraine is from Texas. And then Ginny's awesome from the great state of Tennessee. She grabbed a hold of the We the People Fight Back event. Can't wait to have Vince in that We the People Fight Back event shirt. And then the Truckers Backbone of America Black USA hat with the US mesh we just introduced this weekend. That's under hats. And then another great Lydia from Florida grabbed a hold of the NAC. And then Marlene grabbed a hold of the 50 Let's Go Brandon vaccination cards. Vince, I'm going to mail some of these up to your family. This is the Let's Go Brandon.
Oh, yeah, Let's Go Brandon. Yeah,
CDC vaccination card. So, guys, we appreciate you guys patronizing conservativemarketplace.com. Thank you very much. That's our official commercial break, conservativemarketplace.com. And obviously, our friend Mike Lindell. When you visit Mike Lindell, we appreciate you using promo code CBJ. So, yeah, Vince, since you were on last, we got banned on YouTube for life, and you were part of the reason.
Wow, man. That's, look, man, let me tell you something. That tells you about one of the problems of this nation. But you know what? Here's the good news. The Democrats are not after the fallen. They are the fallen. They don't know, but they're already defeated. See, darkness and light cannot reside together. In our Bible, when Cain was angry because God had rejected his offering and accepted his brother's Abel offering, God came to Cain, his grandson, because Cain was Adam's son. And he said, Cain, why are you angry? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if not, sin waits at the door to master you, but you must master it. See, God gave him the whole ball of wax there, man. He said, if you do well, will you not be accepted? No matter what they do to you, John, you're going to be accepted because you're doing well. God is in the plan. They can't stop you. They can put all these stumbling blocks in front of you, but they're just going to make you stronger. And you're going to see that you're going to come out of this better and stronger, and they're going to be the ones that fall. Like I said, the Democrats are not after the fallen. They are the fallen. They're trying to put stumbling blocks in your way and in my way because they know that we're going to save people. They ain't after me and you. They can't stop us. They're trying to stop us from helping the people that they want to get, but we're going to get to them anyway.
It's awesome, Vince, and your internet's working perfect now. We've got some internet. I just got to Virginia now, so you're flowing good. So the audio's perfect. The audio's tremendous tonight. This is such a powerful episode, guys. Make sure all of you, once again, you obviously make sure you have our podcast on your smartphone. Just download our podcast app, Conservative Business Journal, and share it. Vince, I want to ask you about Stacey Abrams out of Georgia. What is your opinion? Because she's all for voter integrity, and she thinks we're racist for not getting rid of the filibuster and putting those voter laws. We're suppressing the black vote in Georgia. Go, Vince, go, baby.
I feel sorry for her. She seems to be so bitter, so full of hate, full of envy. Our 10th commandment tells us thou shalt not covet. And that means you shouldn't want anything that your neighbor has. But the Democratic Party is all about covetousness. They talk about income inequality. I want what you have, and I don't think you should have it. And if I can't get it from you, I want to burn it down, or I want to use the government to take it from you. So they're bitter, they're angry, they want to use government as a tool to steal, to get revenge, to murder, to do all the things that they're too cowardly to do themselves. So Stacey Abrams is one of those who wants power. She wants power to get revenge, to exact revenge, to steal, to commit murder against children. to trap poor children and weak children in failing schools, to make sure that her elite Democrat friends get rich. And she doesn't care what she has to do to get it. She will sacrifice the well-being of her own people to get this done. She knows what the Democrat Party has done to black people and what they continue to do. She has eyes, but she's made a deal with the devil. She says, if you bow to me, I'll give you the world. And she's believing it. And he's going to end up destroying her if she keeps on doing what she's doing, because she's leading her people to hell. The Democrat Party is an evil institution. And anybody that is a part of it is just leading people to hell, and she's part of it. So I'll pray for her. You pray for her too, John. Hopefully she'll change her ways.
She got it. We got to have, Pastor Greg Locke's doing a great message about deliverance of demons. We got to deliver some demons out of her. So it's good. How about Pastor Greg Locke and Vince Everett Ellison live at the We the People Fight Back event? It's going to be. We have massive security there, by the way, guys. We have the sheriff. We have our own security because and all of you guys, make sure you get your reservations in for We the People Fight Back event. We sell out every event. We're almost 70% sold out already, months in advance, and I'm so excited to bring Vince live. I love Vince. He's tremendous. I want to ask you about one more black influence in the Democratic Party. Then I'm going to ask you about another lie. Maxine Waters.
Oh, God.
Keep praying, brother.
Oh, man. The sad thing about Maxine Waters is that she's old enough to know better. When you see somebody that's been doing the same thing over and over again and not changing, you have to come to the conclusion that this is what she wants. Maxine Waters has been part of, I think her district is South Central LA, where all the Crips and the Bloods and the murder and the killing and the terrible schools, you name it, man. She's been over it for the last 20, 30 years. And instead of going out there trying to change this, she's full speed ahead, because she's getting 90% of the black vote from that area, and that's what she's there to do. And as long as she does that, she'll get promoted. She'll be put in these positions of power. She will sit in the big chair, and that's all she cares about. She doesn't care about the bodies. She doesn't care about how many of these children don't learn to read. She doesn't care how many of these families are torn apart. She doesn't care how many of these children and the fatherless are in jail. She doesn't care. She cares about her position, and they tell her, get the black vote. That is all you're supposed to do. And as long as you do that, you'll keep your position. And she says, yes, boss. That's her job. And she does it well.
And it's amazing, Vince. It's just such a tremendous, so much content in this episode. I can't wait to have our team, Evan, unpack all these clips and send them around to educate people about how they've been just a witchcraft, just how they've been blinding people to what the Democratic Party is. And when you first came on tonight, Vince, before we went live, I said, "Oh, that's a pretty awesome looking green screen behind you." And you're like, "No, guys, pay attention. Pay attention. This is so important because when you notice when I open up early, there's always a strategic method to my interviews remember, I handpick every person that we interview, and Vince is part of our family, and I get a lot of people mad at me because they want to be in my show, and I don't take a lot of guests on. They got to be all in for American values. They have to be true patriots, and your story is just so inspirational. And I want everyone to share this section of the show about 45 minutes in. You were born on a cotton plantation in Haywood County in West Tennessee. My mistake once again for referencing it that you lived in Tennessee versus Virginia. I know when we first called the first time you were on the lawnmower outside cutting your lawn. My wife called you to schedule the first interview way back when. You had the Tennessee talk. I remember with you guys. This is what America. That's why Vince gets very fired up when he says that black people are oppressed. Vince was born in a cotton plantation in Haywood County in West Tennessee to parents who at the time were sharecroppers. Through hard work and faith in Jesus Christ, his father prospered. Guys, look behind Vince Everett Ellison tonight. My man, my brother, an author, an influencer, a father, just a tremendous patriot. I mean, look at the amount of books behind you. You made a decision to educate yourself, Vince Everett Ellison, correct? And education takes.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah,
that's not a fake. That's your library, Vince, correct? That's your library
all around. Yeah. Yeah, books.
Talk about that, Vince. Talk about your personal
man.
hard
Education
work
is
to become the
everything,
man you
brother.
are.
It's you have to decide that you're going to better yourself. You have to make a decision. It's not the government's role. It's your role. See, I'm an heir of Jesus Christ. I'm a son of God. I cannot be oppressed. If I'm God's son and he is my father and he loves me, who can oppress me? Nobody can. So when I see a man walking around saying that he's oppressed, first thing I say, you're a Christian? Yeah. Then how can you be oppressed when Jesus Christ is your father? Well, he can give you anything that you want. I said, you got to choose, man. Light and darkness can't be in the same spot. Either you are a victim or you are a victor. Choose. I made a choice. And my choice was to be a victor, not a victim. I chose to not be oppressed. So when a white person comes up that comes to me, some white racist, and say, yeah, man, you know, as this white man came to me and said, yeah, man, the black man would be okay if the white man would get his foot off his neck. I said, look at me and look at you. You think you can hold me down? and he was messed up because he had never been confronted like that before. See, I love everybody. And ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing. I was commanded to love you. I'm going to love you. You can't stop me from loving you. You can't do it. But like Jesus, I understand this. Nonviolence is not a Christian virtue. Non-aggression is a Christian virtue. Jesus Christ didn't run those men out of the temple with small talk. He got a whip and he ran them out. So they've lied to the black community and to many young people saying that nonviolence is a Christian virtue. It's not. Nonviolence is a political tactic. It is not a Christian virtue. So based on that concept, me and my family has done well. I don't see color. I see good people. I see bad people. I push bad people away. I bring good people near me. I collect good people like you and your beautiful wife, Christy. I collect them. I assist them. They assist me. We elevate each other. I'm not in competition with anybody in this world. I try to be the best Vince Ellison I can be tomorrow and today. What did Ernest Hemingway say? He said, true nobility is not being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. I am not competing with anyone in this world. I'm trying to be the best Vince Ellison I can be. I am a free man. God gave me my freedom. It is irrevocable, non-transferable, and unsellable, according to John Locke. Government didn't give it to me. Man didn't give it to me. I have a problem with Martin Luther King Jr. because he started saying, you know, that we have to go to government for our freedom. No, we don't. God gave me my freedom. It's mine. And if anybody comes to take it from me, I got two things that'll get you off my back. And you've heard me say it. Jesus Christ and my 38. Come try it.
It's tremendous. Work hard, read books, educate yourself. You know, I talk about all the books I've written. The word educate means to extract out of you. And you look at the time you invested in reading. And I tell everybody, make sure you guys grab a hold of Vince's books. Make sure you grab a hold of his most recent book, 25 Lies, Exposing Democrats' Most Dangerous, Seductive, Damnable, Destructive Lies, and How to Refute Them. And wherever books are sold, get a hold of his book and study him. When people go, oh, I don't have time to read. That's the enemy. As an author and a writer and a reader, you got to read. I mean, look at, that's not a fake green screen. That's his library. That's Vince's library. He was born. His dad was a sharecropper. Vincent had 7 siblings. I mean, he worked hard in America. He's the American dream story. He's the reason why this country now is under attack from the communists. And you know, my whole
John,
process.
You know what?
Yeah.
All of my siblings are millionaires. All of them.
Say it again,
we
please.
all have done well in America because we have this idea about this country that you can achieve anything you want to as long as you believe in God, you're willing to work, you're honest. See, these are things that the Democrats cannot let black people know. They want you to believe that you're oppressed, to be afraid. This is not of God. This is not manly. Men are not afraid. We face fear. We stare it in the eye. We look it down. We become friends with other brave men, and they assist us in our lives. See, they want you to believe, they're cheating these young men into believing that they can't come to a man like you and ask you for help. They're cheating a young girl into believing they can come to your beautiful wife, like Christy, and ask her for help. And this is how they keep us fighting one another. Jesus' last prayer before he went to the cross was a prayer for unity, because he knew that Satan was going to come and try to tear his people apart. And these evil Democrats have done a great job at doing it. They're full of hate. They're full of malice. They're full of envy, vitriol. They set fires. They cause brothers and sisters to fight one another. Blood in the street. And they love it. They live by it. Joe Biden got in front of MLK's tomb and said, if you don't vote for my voting rights, you're a racist. That was a lie. He said, if you black and don't vote for me, you're not black. That is a lie. He's a liar. He's lied his whole life. And the Democrats that are behind him, they also lie. C.S. Lewis, the great Christian apologist, said that hell is a choice. I said, how's hell a choice? Well, I see it every day. People that get on drugs and won't get off, won't go to rehab, choosing hell. People that are morbidly obese and won't work out, choosing hell. People that refuse to get educated and live in squalor, choosing hell. But right now, it's the same thing. People that vote for the Democratic Party are choosing hell. Because if you ask them, the black people that live in Democrat ghettos tell you, I'm living in hell. The first thing they do when they get enough money is they get out. And guess where they want to come, Joe? They want to come live beside me and you, the homophobe, the racist. They want to come live with me and you. And they want to leave the Democrat-controlled areas that they supposedly are supposed to love. Because the Democrats have made a dystopia and a hell wherever they have power. And we got to wake people up to that and tell them, we're here. Anybody that wants better will help you exercise your freedom and become an American and live your life and be happy. And that's what it's all about.
Guys, this episode has been hands down one of the best episodes ever. So timely. The Democrats are liars. They're liars. They're thieves. And I'll say it again, John Lemme and Vince Everett Ellison together, the devil's freaking out because we're not backing down. We're not backing down. We're not.
That's right.
There's three things. And Vince, I'm going to bless you with this. And we love mailing your gifts. And since I mailed your gifts in the last few months, I'm going to mail you a new gift. This is one of my most recent quote posts. It says, freedom. It says, the United States Constitution gives me the right to live free, protect my family, serve my God. Surrendering my rights is not an option. And I tell people there's three things featured here: Bible, a gun, and the Constitution. You ain't taking
there it is, man.
And that's it.
I like that. Yeah, man.
Please
send me that.
You're not taking that. And guys, and once again, this is all printed locally. Talk about, if I wasn't banned on YouTube, I wouldn't have produced this. We got banned. We had to produce revenue for our company. These are all printed locally at a local printer.
Wow, man, that's great.
Small business. And guys, you guys can get a hold of this at conservativemarketplace.com. Vince, we're mailing you one as a gift. But as I hear you say that, it's about guns, Bible, and a Constitution. It's what America was built upon. Democrats are liars. I mean, they're thieves. And I think your third book should be Choices to Go to Hell.
That's pretty good one.
Because I love what you said, because choices have consequences. And I talk about that in my book. A choice is a decision.
That's right.
And right behind every decision is a result. And right behind every choice is a result. And the choices right now is there's no Democratic Party left. The Democrats are out to steal, kill, and destroy, murder, take control. I mean, just look at the inner cities. And one more final question, Vince, and then I'll let you go back to your family. Just an epic episode. And I'm so proud to call you a friend. I'm so proud to call you a patriot warrior. I'm so proud to see you get out there. I know you were on the Laura Ingraham show last week numerous times, and you'll be on some other shows. Obviously you're on my show for the fourth time, which is exciting.
Your mutual friend AJ said he wants a shout out.
J.A.? Yeah. AJ says we have to give him a shout out. So AJ, we have to say hello to AJ, right, Vince?
AJ Rice, the best agent in the world, right?
He's the man. He's the man.
Man. I love him to death. He puts in the work. I tell you, he's a killer. He is a stone cold killer.
Big Daddy, I call him now. Big Daddy with his baby now, right? He's got the baby, AJ. He's awesome. But guys, that's why it's so important to realize you have to be around real people who expose the evil. I mean, we dealt with some crazy people today. We had to block some phone numbers and report some text to some law enforcement. I mean, there's crazy people out there when you're speaking conservative values. One final question for you. Joe Biden. I mean, he's dangerous from a perspective. How dangerous is what he says? I mean, you were on my show, the Biden Scam Series, right after the election was stolen. That's one of the reasons why all those videos were removed off YouTube. But what do you want to say, Vince, in a final point, and kind of unpack maybe one or two more of your lies and tie it into Biden, how dangerous, how manipulative he is. And he's from the pits of hell, his spirit. It's brutal. And the black people just get he just abuses them the way he talks. I mean, it's emotional abuse. I mean, it's personal abuse the way he talks about them. Like you have no ID. Like you can't work a computer and you have no ID. Like just go vote.
Yeah.
Like you're an idiot.
Yeah, we dodged the bullet, and we're still not out of the woods yet. Thank God for Joe Manchin, right? The Democrats had a conspiracy to seize power in 2000 with they had HR 1. They were going to take over all the elections. They were going to make D.C. and Puerto Rico states so they could have 4 more senators put in the House. They were going to pack the Supreme Court so that they could have a court that was going to just rubber stamp everything that they did. They were going to do the Equality Act that was going to take over churches and private schools and make sure they were involved in the LGBTQ fiascos. I mean, they had plans to take over this country and never give it back. And we were saved by basically 1 vote, Joe Manchin and maybe Kristen Sinema's vote. And Joe Biden was completely behind it. We saw what he did to those poor people in Afghanistan, how he left them there to die when there was no rhyme or reason behind it. We see what he's doing now to those people in Ukraine when there's no rhyme or reason behind it. We could just tell Vladimir Putin, if you go over there, we're going to deal with you. How? You'll see. Don't go. Right. We're not going to let you murder these people. Joe Biden is a sick man. He's always been on the wrong side of every foreign policy issue. He's always been on the wrong side of every issue that was good. He locked up millions of black men during the 90s, destroyed black families, destroyed the economy. He stopped school choice. He will not vote for school choice to let these children out of failing schools. He won't vote he won't allow us to defund Planned Parenthood. So he's killing millions of babies. He wants to disarm the American people so that these druggies and these criminals can go in and just kill people like we saw during 2020 with the riots. Disarmed people were just having their doors kicked in. And right now, it's at New York and all these big cities, they're getting murdered and beat up on the street. You see these guys just jacking people and beating them up on the street? And they won't arm the citizens to defend themselves. Joe Biden is behind this also.
That's right.
These people are evil people. They are not misguided. They are not misinformed. But here's the good news. There's God in heaven. We are protected. They cannot touch me and you, Joe.
That's right.
They're going to try, but you have a shield around you. I have a shield around me. And we're going to tell all the people out there in America to come join us and be protected. God is our refuge, and they cannot do us any harm.
Tremendous. Guys, make sure you grab a hold of Vince's book. One final point. And guys, look, this is so important. Let me show you the awesome book cover again. Vince looking sharp. His wife dressed him that day. 20 got his glasses on. 25 lies exposing Democrats' most dangerous, seductive, damnable, destructive lies and how to refute them. Love the title. 25 lies. We unpacked about 3 or 4 tonight. Guys, get this. Send it out to people who are uneducated and they think there's actually Democratic Party left from one of the most vocal and strongest Black conservative voices in America today. And I always say when John Lemme and Vince Everett Ellison are together, because Vince has an Italian first name. He's actually Italian Vince. Vince is the first name. So, you got John, you got Vince, and you got, he's part Italian Vince there. And it's I
always believed I was, man. I always tell everybody that if I wasn't Black, I'd choose to be Italian.
Oh, you dress Italian, your confidence Italian, you read like an Italian, your hands move like an Italian, you sing like an Italian. All right. It's tremendous.
I probably do. Yeah. Because the Italians get down, man. Yeah.
We'll have you sing a song. Vince, at our events, we have a VIP dinner on Saturday night. We get together and we kind of celebrate the final 2 days of our event, and we have entertainment and so forth. So we'll actually have you sing a song or two, right, Christy?
I don't know about that now. I'll help you sing one.
Tear it up, man. Tear it up, my brother. So any final points you want to share with our listeners around the world, Vince, on just to inspire them, motivate them, and encourage them?
Well, John, look, number one, thank you for being out there doing what you do, because without you, voices like mine will not be heard and the people wouldn't hear the truth. Keep doing what you're doing. But I want the people to be motivated and understand that there's a silver lining behind what happened in 2020. We're coming back, and we're going to be back stronger. 2022, we're going to take back the House and the Senate, and then we're going to take back the presidency. And America has seen what these leftists want to do. They got a little bit too brave, John. They started telling the truth for the first time in their lives. And they started telling us that we didn't have a right to say how our children were educated. They told us that they want men they want to castrate our little boys, and they wanted to cut the breasts off our little girls without parents' permission. They told us that, John. They told us that they want our little girls to have to go to bathrooms, in public bathrooms, with strange men. They told us. They told us they wanted to disarm us and defund the police. They told us. And now there's a backlash. You saw what happened in my state here in Virginia.
That's right.
They were celebrating that Virginia was a blue state. No, Virginia turned it back red overnight because we saw what they had planned. They had been lying for 50 years. And they started feeling themselves. They started saying, hey, man, hey, we won this thing. And they started telling the truth. And people said, oh, my God. Now they want to start back to lying again. We're not going to let them. We got them beat. They're on their back foot. We're going to knock them out.
That's right.
We're not going to stop until they're gone. And we have to understand this. This is a fight. It's a fight to the end. And I'm like you. When I see that my opponent is injured, I end it. So they're injured now, and I'm motivated. Let's keep going forward.
That's right. Vince Everett Ellison, tremendous. Thank you, my brother. What a tremendous episode. Phenomenal, guys. Once again, grab a hold of Vince's book, 25 Lies Explains Democrats' Most Dangerous, Seductive, Damnable, Destructive Lies and How to Refute Them, where books are sold everywhere. And get a hold of his original book, his other bestseller, The Iron Triangle, which is tremendous. And guys, educate people. Take a look at Vince's library. Take a look at the amount of books he's read. That's not a fake green screen. That's a real library. That's why, as he said, all of his siblings are millionaires, because the more you learn, the more you earn. It's one of my quotes. And inside earn and learn is ear. Inside dream is ear. Inside hear is ear. What you put in your ears make a difference, because what comes out of your mouth is what you listen to. Guys, Vince Everett Ellison, my man, my brother. I'm so excited for all the success God's blessing you with, and all the exposure in your books and your interviews going everywhere around the world. I'm excited you're going to be joining us in Naples, Florida at a We the People Fight Back. I'm just chuckling because we're going to tear that house up. That's going to be an amazing 2 days with Vince Everett Ellison live. And make sure, guys, grab a hold of Vince's books. Even before that, bring the books down, and Vince will autograph them for you live at the event. And we won't have any stuttering and stammering on the video technology, because Vince would be in the flesh live, looking sharp like an Italian dressed man, right? So, guys, with that said, make sure you share the episode. Make sure you guys listen to Vince's past episodes. You can do that 2 ways. Visit conservativebusinessjournal.com. Click on the menu tab, podcast, alphabetical order. Go on to Ellison. You'll see his past episodes. Also, on your smartphone, make sure you visit however you download the iStore or Apple Store, the Apple Store or the Google Play. Download Conservative Business Journal. That's the name of our podcast. Subscribe. It's free. There's a search feature by last name. Put Ellison in. You'll see all his past episodes. And it just reaffirms what we've been saying tonight. Then you hit the share button and share it. Say you share it to 5 people, 10 people that don't know, because you don't hear this anywhere else. You don't. And that's how you start to educate. That's the whole theme of the Real News, guys. Share the episode, share the Real News. And thank you once again for supporting us, conservativemarketplace.com. We have a great special going on for President's Day. Just use the code Trump, discount code Trump, and you get 15% off. And we'll make that. You guys can use that, listening to the replay, obviously, to be beyond the President's Day. But because you listen to the replay, you guys get the benefit of getting 15% on 150 plus products, all of our categories. Remember, 5% of conservativemarketplace.com goes to Heartbeat of Miami. Guys, with that said, good night. God bless you. Vince Everett Ellison, looking sharp. You're awesome, my brother. Give us a big smile to conclude the show.
Hey, man, enjoy it, y'all.
Take a picture of that.
Hi. Give him a big kiss for me.
Here we go. Ready? Big smile. Got a shot there? Yeah. That's a good screenshot. Good night, guys. God bless you. Vince, stay on for a second. You're awesome, my man. Good night, guys. And thank you for sharing.